What if the news could unite us across our differences? And what's really going on in the halls of power, regardless of who's elected in office? Welcome to the Want to Know Weekly newsletter, where we save you time by summarizing important news articles buried by the mainstream, revealing both the darker forces shaping society and the best of human goodness, creativity, and collective power. Here are a few excerpts of this week's curated news collection. The U.S. advertises itself as a free society. We cast our votes for leaders we trust to represent our interests. Unfortunately, our elected officials do very little to address the shadowy forces within our government that wield unchecked power over the lives of everyday people. While we blame the other side for why our society is falling apart, the real purveyors of harm remain hidden and unaccountable. Take the FBI, for example. An anonymous supervisory special agent who happens to be a registered Democrat recently blew the whistle on how high-ranking FBI officials viewed employees with conservative leanings and those who decided not to take the COVID shot as security risks, and quote, unworthy to work at the FBI, leading to unwarranted suspensions and terminations of their security clearances. The whistleblower alleges that employees were pressured to report on their colleagues' political views and vaccine statuses without those factors being properly documented in official clearance records. Our public institutions were designed to be politically neutral, yet what these FBI whistleblower allegations demonstrate is that the FBI has set aside that neutrality in favor of ideological conformity. We all have the right to participate in society, regardless of our political beliefs or opinions on the COVID shots. And when one group gets marginalized, this paves the way for extremism and division. On the other hand, a real democratic society would allow for open dialogue and viewpoint diversity, especially in the face of complex issues that require context and nuance. Authoritarian measures aimed at enforcing conformity of thought directly attack the basic freedoms on which democracy depends. The Global Disinformation Index, or GDI, is a transatlantic organization funded by the US State Department and European governments. The GDI issues blacklists of news publications based on highly questionable criteria, which online advertising exchanges use to justify cutting off ad revenue. Initially established to combat deliberately false content, the GDI's definition of disinformation has evolved to include any narrative deemed adversarial. Therefore, news outlets are financially threatened if they present viewpoints contrary to the official story. These public-private partnerships reveal an alarming trend of censorship disguised as information regulation, which echo the FBI's actions against dissenting voices. Just as troubling, the World Federation of Advertisers, which controls 90% of global marketing, has actively sought to defund news outlets based on political ideology. Yet who are the true purveyors of disinformation? The FBI, for instance, has a documented history of manipulating public opinion for political reasons. Leaked emails revealed how the DNC, Hillary Clinton campaign, and major news outlets colluded to prevent Bernie Sanders from winning his party's nomination, along with other allegations of media manipulation and conflicts of interest involving corporate donors and lobbyists. Mainstream media, US intelligence agencies, and establishment leaders attributed the leaked emails to a Russian conspiracy aimed at interfering in US elections and damaging Hillary Clinton's reputation to benefit Donald Trump. Yet no evidence was found to support this claim. Even more damning, these allegations turned out to be a product of government disinformation. Clinton's campaign manufactured and paid for the Russian collusion hoax, which costed taxpayers $32 million. Investigation into the matter produced the Mueller report and Durham report, both of which failed to reveal any evidence of Russian collusion. FBI agent Kevin Kleinsmith even lied to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court on an application related to spying on individuals suspected of Russian collusion. Now, a whistleblower group is suing the DOJ for collaborating with the FBI to carry out unconstitutional surveillance on congressional staff overseeing the FBI's Trump-Russia investigation. Wherever you stand, this erodes public trust in our agencies, and it appears that the FBI is not only manipulating public opinion, but they're they're also willing to help cover up the crimes of the powerful. Jeffrey Epstein was a shadowy financier who trafficked young women and minors for politicians, royal family members, celebrities, former presidents and world leaders, scientists, business tycoons, and other power elites. For decades, dozens of girls as young as middle school age were lured, groomed, and paid in cash for sex with Epstein and his clients. When undeniable evidence of Epstein's child sex trafficking ring was brought to light in court in 2008, the whole system shielded him and his associates from the gravity of his crimes. What would have been a federal indictment for life in prison turned into one of the most lenient deals for a serial child sex offender in history. The plea agreement protected his co-conspirators, and the FBI actually shut down a probe into his criminal organization. Below, you'll find a link to our Substack article that explores the unsettling implications of such robust government protection for a convicted sex offender who ran a global sex trafficking ring for some of the world's most powerful people. COINTELPRO was a secret FBI program starting in the 50s, which sought to destroy lives, ruin reputations, and disrupt civil rights groups and other socially progressive organizations. While the program itself ended a long time ago, the FBI continues to target individuals who challenge the status quo. This is evident in their classification of anti-war activists protesting military base expansions as terrorists. Ironically, did you know that the FBI once entrapped mentally ill people into participating in fabricated terrorist plots? Prosecuting innocent people like this not only pads the FBI's arrest and prosecution statistics, but also helps justify its budget by misrepresenting the threat of terrorism. Most people within the FBI and our government do essential work for the public good. Yet shadowy interests within our system have hijacked our democracy, allowing the rich and powerful to operate with impunity from one presidential administration to the next. Well, the news isn't all doom and gloom, and it never is. Brian Hance is an everyday guy on a mission to tackle an international bicycle smuggling ring that's been robbing Americans of their high-end bikes. Despite being dismissed by police in several counties, Hance created a community bike theft prevention tool called the Bike Index, which allows bike owners to register their bikes with serial numbers and photos to help recover stolen bikes. Now there are 1.3 million registered bicycles on the site. His efforts culminated in a major breakthrough when Colorado's Attorney General indicted 8 individuals on 227 counts of theft, including 29 bike shop burglaries, all of whom pled guilty. So this guy did this without police intervention. In a region filled with violence and war, Colombia is pioneering a transformative approach to heal 60 years of conflict through a restorative incarceration approach. In exchange for admitting guilt for violent acts and seeking forgiveness from victims and the families, 48 military and former guerrilla leaders are now serving sentences by planting trees and helping heal the communities they once dominated through fear. This marks a larger trend in restorative approaches in criminal justice systems all over the world. Like in Brazil, where there's a prison where inmates have the keys to their own cells, they're called by their actual name and not a number, and there are no armed guards in the prison. And they have some of the lowest recidivism rates in the country. The Templeton Prize is an annual award that recognizes individuals whose work has profoundly contributed to spiritual progress and offered new insights into religion. This year, a South African scholar received the award for her role on South Africa's post-apartheid Truth and Reconciliation Commission in the 1990s and beyond. She navigates the complexity of healing from conflict by sharing compassion and understanding for all those who have experienced violence, as well as all those who have perpetrated violence, in order to heal its underlying conditions. I love what this article says here, that by creating spaces for real dialogue and healing, victims and perpetrators move each other beyond the boundaries of their own experiences. To delve into deeper stories of forgiveness and healing amidst atrocities, take a moment to explore our powerful interview with Marina Cantacuzino, journalist and founder of the Forgiveness Project, by clicking the link below. Check out the news article summaries below for all the stories we covered this week. And remember, We can't shift the chaos we're in until we name it. When we can recognize what's pushing us in our personal lives and as a society, we already have a degree of freedom from it. Challenging information can paradoxically remind us of the greater good. It is the courage of the people and the love for the common good that bring these injustices to light, fueling open dialogue and constructive action. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and share this video widely. We're all in this together.